What's going on, everybody? I just want to give a quick shout out to my social media. Make sure you guys are following me on X. You can find me at Joey Petersen 8. I tweet about the Ravens every single day. You know what? I like to say I got some good memes as well. So if you're looking for a good Twitter follower, for someone who keeps up and covers the Ravens every single day, that's where you can find me. And the first 10 follows on X get a shout out on Tuesday's live show. Okay, the next live show we're doing this upcoming Tuesday, you'll get a shout out if you're one of the first 10. So hit me up. Our first question from today's live mailbag is #Ravens, should we just cut Tucker? Anchovy, great question. It's kind of hard for me to answer this one because that's just such a sticky situation, and you never know. Obviously there's the allegations. It's up to about 10 now. Tucker's saying his things. They're saying their things. The NFL's investigating it. I'm sure the Ravens are going to be investigating it. I'm sure Baltimore police will be investigating it. It does seem like it might just be the play to just cut him because he's not the same elite kicker that we've seen in years past. Okay, that was obvious this past season. And with everything going on, I think this might be a good time for Baltimore to also I think this is a good PR move. I wouldn't mind just cutting him. I think that might be the way this team needs to go. Next up from Mike Nintendo Master, #Ravens, should the Ravens go after Trey Smith? Mike, I would love it, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Tennessee Volunteer alum and I watched Trey Smith play in college, but also Trey Smith is elite. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. He is the best interior offensive lineman maybe in football. He's the best interior offensive lineman available. He might be one of the best free agents available, probably behind only T. Higgins. But the thing with that is he's going to command some money. Okay, and he's already won 2 titles, might be 3 coming tomorrow on Super Bowl Sunday. And so he's not at the ring-chasing point. He never needs to be at this ring-chasing point. He's got rings. This is his time to make a bag. And right now, the Ravens have about $10 million in cap space, and so they're not really in bag-giving territory right now. Great question, though, Mike. Next up, coming from Smitty, lovely family that you have. Would you extend Kyle Hamilton right now? #Ravens. I would. I think you have the best safety in the game of football. And I don't really know if it's very close, okay? The safety market was reset last year. I think Kyle Hamilton is going to reset it again this year, but there's this sticky little thing. It's called cap space, and the Ravens don't have that much of it right now. They could cut some people. I think they're going to restructure some contracts. I think Lamar Jackson, I think Mark Andrews, both are going to have contract restructures, open up a little bit more of cap space. But in my opinion, as soon as you get the money, you extend Kyle Hamilton like that, okay? What he does for this defense, what he did for this defense this past year, as just the guy that, he's not the Mike, he's not the Green Dot, he's not Roquan Smith, but in my opinion, I think everything runs through him, okay? Absolutely love what he's been able to show us in these first 3 years of his career. Excited for the future with him, so yes, I would extend him. What say you guys? Should the Ravens extend Kyle Hamilton this offseason? Give me a yes, give me a no in the comment section down below. If it's yes, tell me why. If you're crazy and it's no, also let me know why. Just get in the comments right now. Next up from Marcelo Hernandez. Should the Ravens trade Flowers for Micah if had the option? Marcelo, I talked about this past week in a video, and I think so. I think the best way I could put it is Zay Flowers, why I love him, okay? While I love him, I really do. I think when you look at your offense, it goes Lamar, Derrick Henry, with how this offense is set up and how they run the football, and then Zay Flowers. And if you traded him and you got Micah Parsons in here and you looked at the defense, it would be Micah Parsons and then Kyle Hamilton, okay? And so he would easily be the number one on that side of the ball. And if you had to package, like we talked about this past week, Kyle Van Noy and even a first-round pick, I would do it. He's 25 years old. He's a career player. He's a Unreal game changer. And I think if you get him to Baltimore, that would do a lot in terms of your pass rushing and key moments in the playoffs. Okay. Up next, coming from Papa Shook. What's up, Papa? Hashtag Ravens. This question hurts us all. Is Lamar capable going to take us to the Super Bowl? Or is the franchise wasting their time? Papa, yes, I think he is. Okay? Not yes, I think. Yes, I know he is. Okay? I'm really confident. I think guys like Josh Allen, guys like Lamar Jackson, their time is going to come. They're just unfortunate to have been playing in the middle of this dynasty called the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay? And I don't think their stories are going to be remembered like John Stockton and like Karl Malone's will be. Okay? They'll be remembered as the guys who could never get it done for the Utah Jazz because they always had to play Michael and the Bulls. I don't think that's the same story for Lamar. I think he's too good. I think he's too dynamic. I think he's too talented. And just because you haven't been able to do something in the past doesn't mean you can't do it in the future. Okay? Look at this past year with Ohio State. Everybody said, Ryan Day can't win the big ones. He can't do it. Guess what? He did. Okay, and so I think the same has been said of Lamar Jackson. I think the future will be that of Lamar Jackson. I think he will take this team to a Super Bowl. I've got all the faith in the world in number 8. We got more questions to get to on today's mailbag, but before we do, got to tell you about our friends over at Game Time. It is the best place to go if you need tickets to anything, okay? Music, concerts, theater, anything you want, they've got it right there on Game Time. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the big game, and I can promise you there's nothing that can quite compare to the rush and excitement you feel watching your team win that game either at home or on the neutral site. And if you want to have that memory for the rest of your life, that's where Game Time can help out. The connection you feel to your team, city, and fellow fans around you in those electric playoff environments leads to bonds that last a lifetime. Game Time has an awesome feature. It's called Game Time Picks, and that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so that you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The tool highlights the best deals, including great and amazing deals, which are the highest value seats at the time. For some events, Game Time Picks also identifies a super deal, which is the best seat value in the venue. And what I love about Game Time Picks is that it isn't just for sporting events, right? If you want to go to United We Dance next Saturday, February 22nd at 9 p.m., if you love EDM music just as much as I do, you can use Game Time. Use the Game Time Picks button. Find the best value seat, and you know what? Go ahead. Get it right at Game Time. So download the Game Time app. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Create an account and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. Xlight asks, hashtag Ravens, is Isaiah Likely better than Mark Andrews? I don't know about better. It's hard to say that he's better than the guy who leads this franchise in touchdown catches and who had more touchdown catches and more yards than Isaiah Likely last year. I think his ceiling is higher. What he's able to do athletically, how quick he is, his catch radius, his size, I think that has a higher ceiling than Mark Andrews. Okay, I think Mark Andrews has had a fantastic career. Obviously, he's got the massive asterisk, the massive question mark on how this last year was ended with the 2-point conversion and all of that. But to say Isaiah Likely is better than Mark Andrews, I think would be false. But to say Isaiah Likely could be better than Mark Andrews, I think that's very fair. Next up from Yika, my main man. Hashtag Ravens, if the stars have aligned and the person you want is available in the first round, who would it be? Great question. We just talked about him earlier this week. I think Mike Green at that pick at number 27 would be amazing. I think he has a fantastically high ceiling. But also, I'd love James Pierce Jr. for obvious reasons. He's a Tennessee Volunteer. I think he's got a lot of really good traits, a lot of really good abilities. But also a wide receiver I really love. That if the stars align, if this is a perfect world, perfect universe, if Luther Burden falls to 27, I would freak. Absolutely love him. Absolutely love his skill set. So those are 3 guys for you. You call. Next up, King Lee. How do you guys feel about Calais Campbell, hashtag Ravens? Think he'd be a great asset. Think he'd be a great depth piece. Even at his age, even if as long as he played in this league, I think he still is a really great player. I think he still did some really great things in Miami. And he made it obvious, he made it apparent at the end of the season that he wants to play for a contender again. He thought Miami was that. Obviously, they didn't even make the playoffs. I could easily see a reunion back in Baltimore, and he wouldn't be very expensive either. I would love it. Up next, we got Papa Shook again. What's up, Papa? Hashtag Ravens. This is dumb, but should Baltimore give the bag for Myles Garrett? Papa, I would love it, man. We talked about Micah Parsons this week. We talked about Micah Parsons in this episode, but Myles Garrett, I think, is better than Micah Parsons. I do. Okay, I know that's crazy, but Myles Garrett is, I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer already. And if you could get him in Baltimore on that line, in that defense, oh my gosh, just give us the Super Bowl trophy already. Now, it would cost a lot to get him via trade. It would cost even more, like you said, the bag. And unfortunately, how the cap space is right now, Baltimore just doesn't have that bag, okay? Sitting at around $10 million in cap space, that's probably giving them $500,000 or two as well. And so they just don't have the money. He's probably going to want that contract restructured. I think that's a big reason for this deal. And so I would do it if you can make the money work. Do it in an instant. He's a dynamic player. Next up, Ravens King. Does Rashod Bateman get 1,000 receiving yards next season? Ravens King, I don't think so. But not because he can't, but because this offense just has so many players, so many good players, so many assets that there's just, I said it 1,000 times this season, there's only so many yards that can go around. You got to think about it. Lamar's going to do Lamar things when it comes to running the football. He'll get 800 to 900. Derrick Henry, even if he takes a massive step back, a 400-yard step back, that's still 1,500 yards. Zay Flowers is going to do his thing. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely as well. So I don't see Rashod getting 1,000. However, if he was this team's wide receiver one, I could see it happening, but he won't be. And so I don't think it happens. Would love it if it did, though. I love Rashod Bateman. Last comment from the day. We got it from Suck It Nico. Amen. Should the Ravens trade for Trey Hendrickson? Yeah. I think so. I think Trey Hendrickson is maybe the most underrated edge rusher in football. What he's been able to do his 4 years in Cincinnati has been phenomenal. But again, it's that question mark of, sure, you have things to give up for him via trade, but do you have things to pay for him? That's going to be the biggest question mark. That's going to be the biggest topic of discussion. You're going to get so tired of hearing me say that for the entirety of the next 6 months. But it's true. It's just the fact of life. Where Baltimore sits right now with the cap is not in a fortuitous position. Hopefully they get some restructures done. Hopefully that changed. But yeah, I would trade for him. Just don't know if it's possible. You tell me, comment section down below, would you trade for Trey Hendrickson? Give me a T for trade. Give me a P for pass. Love to hear your guys' thoughts right now. This has been the Ravens Rundown. Appreciate you guys watching. As always, we do these live questions every single Tuesday evening. So if you guys weren't here for this past one, we'll be live again Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us next time. Make sure you don't miss it. Hit that sub button.